What is going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at a device that has been certified for Zoom and is newly certified for Microsoft Teams, the Poly P21. The P21 is a rather unique device for personal collaboration purposes. It's kind of an all-in-one monitor solution that includes a camera up top with built-in privacy shutter, onboard speakers and microphones, a 21.5-inch fixed ratio 1080p LCD display, and then it's got capacitive ambient lighting that can be adjusted with touch controls built right into the sides as well. The device connects to your laptop, PC, Mac through a simple USB connection, and you must have the Poly Lens app installed on that device along with the display link drivers. We'll get to that in just a second. In addition to all the AV coolness of the P21, there is also a spot right at the bottom here, this elevated portion, that allows you to wirelessly charge your mobile phone as a little added bonus. In addition to using the P21 for displaying your meeting app of choice, it is actually a monitor. So when you're not using it for that Microsoft Teams call, it can just serve as a secondary external monitor for your laptop, PC, or Mac. In this video, we'll take a closer look at some of the specs and features on the device itself, and then we will do a demo of getting it set up with a laptop, Windows, no Mac in this demo, and then we'll show a demo of actually managing the settings of the device using the Poly Lens app and using it in a Microsoft Teams call. Let's dig in. Coming in for a closer look, again, the display is a 21.5-inch display. As you can see, it has quite reflective, nice, clear screen, fixed 1080p ratio. The ambient lighting is actually built into the sides here on both sides of the display. We'll get a feel for what that looks like once we get it powered on and plugged in. Also, try not to be distracted by the kitten that will not be quiet during recording of this film. I set it up by the Poly P21 so that it will be quiet for a few minutes while I record. We've got the wireless charging capability for your mobile phone right down here at the base. Right up top, we've got our built-in camera. It has a built-in privacy shutter as well with a little slide right up top. We can slide it to the left to open the camera up, slide it back to the right for privacy. Down at the bottom, we've got speakers and mics built right in. And this kitty is just too cute. Okay, sorry, back to the P21. After installing the base to the monitor itself, you can see we've got a cable management clip right back here, so that as your cables plug in underneath, we can route the cables down. The bottom of the P21 base has a rubber grip surface along the entire bottom, making sure it does not slide around on your desktop. To connect the P21 monitor to the stand that it comes with, we will take a look at the back side of it. Now, looking at the back portion of the P21, we've got this hole right here with that metal contraption inside. Very scientific terminology I'm using here. And that is going to clip right into the top of the base. And we'll hear it clip as it does that. We just line it up, we get the metal piece in there, and there was a gentle little click. You may or may not have heard it. And now it's in. If we go to lift this up, it is on there. If we want to release it, that's what that little red button is for. That'll we can reach our finger up there, press that, and it'll release to remove the base from the monitor itself. But now we've got it stood up and ready to plug in. On the underside of the device, we've got a port for your headset if you want to plug a headset into the device. We've got a power port right here as well. We've got a red setup sticker that tells us we will have a blank screen issue if we do not have the proper drivers and software installed on our machine before plugging this in. So we will do that. Pulling the red sticker off reveals two USB-A ports and a USB-C port off to the side, as well as a Kensington lock slot right here. And one final look at the very cute kitten. Okay, to prevent the blank screen issue that we saw on that little red sticker, it told us if we did not have the drivers present on the PC or laptop or Mac that we're going to connect to, prior to connecting the P21, we could have a blank screen. We don't want that. So we came to the URL that it told us to come to, and we can see there's a little setup video we can watch. We'll skip that because that's why you're watching this video, right? We'll install the PolyLens desktop for step 1, and then we'll install the Display Link Manager application for step 2, and finally we will connect the P21 to the computer. With the PolyLens app finished downloading, we'll say Open File. We will agree. We will say Proceed. And there we go. We don't have to log in. We can if we've got like an organization that uses PolyLens to manage multiple devices, or even if you want to set that up yourself to experience the PolyLens cloud capabilities. But we're just going to say continue as guest for now. With this thing in place, we'll now be able to see any connected Poly device, and we'll see our P21 when we plug it in here in a moment. In the meantime, let's go over to our Display Link drivers that are now finished downloading. We'll say Open File for them. And we'll say yes. I opened them twice. We'll click on our Display Link graphics. They are installing. And the Display Link graphics are finished, so we will say Finish. At this stage, we have the prerequisites met to plug our P21 in. Let's get it set up. I wanted to point out something really quick about the cables. We've got a USB-C cable that will go into the P21, and you need to get the right end into the P21 per the video that I showed you a little bit earlier. And then this side gives you two options. We've either got the USB-C option, or if we disconnect that, you'll see that that's actually an adapter, and we can connect with a USB-A. So something to keep in mind with when you're connecting it up. And with the power plugged in, you see that the Poly logo is up on the screen. It is powering on for the first time. We'll go ahead and get the USB cable plugged in between the P21 and our laptop. And now with our USB cable plugged in, you can see we've got our screen that is over on the laptop actually mirrored over here on the P21. We can even see some of that ambient lighting happening underneath. With the P21 plugged in, we go over to the PolyLens app. And once it launches, it sees that we have the P21 there. We'll click on the P21. We see that it is connected. We see the software looks to be out of date. So we will go ahead and give an update there. And we'll say update. And with that, it shows us the software update is done. We will say done. All is green. All looks well up here. And we'll go ahead and get rid of that X up top. Now we've got our overview, which shows us this screen. Now we've got controls. So our preview is hidden at the moment. I'm going to click the eyeball to unhide it, but I've got my privacy shutter there. So when I take the privacy shutter off, you see the camera. The camera sees me. So now we're seeing the camera of the P21 on screen here. And back over on this view, we see we are now lit up on the sides. Each side has that ambient lighting. Back on screen, we see that we can adjust the brightness here. If I slide this up and down, we get almost no lighting. We get full ambient lighting, and we can go kind of back to the middle where we were. Additionally, if we click this unlink button, we can now control both sides individually of the other. So we could have no lighting on this side, full lighting on this side. And you can see how we can just customize that if we've got like maybe half of our face is in the dark side of the room and half of our face is lit up by a window. But we'll go ahead and link these again, brings them back both to full, and we'll set it back down to the middle. Got various favorites that you can set up here. If we click on the three dots button, we can edit the name of each favorite, we can create a new favorite, and we can delete them. The rest of our settings, brightness, contrast, saturation, all that fun stuff with your screen and your video settings there, exposure, we're going to go ahead and leave those controls alone. But that's all of our camera capability right there. And by hovering back over the image here, we get all these different controls. We can expand this out. We can take a snapshot. We can turn on a grid, turn that back off. We can zoom way in if we want to. We can zoom back out. You can control the camera. If we were to zoom in, for example, we could then control it with PTZ over to the left, over to the right. But I'll just bring this all the way back out. Coming back over to our general settings, there is the rocket button. We assign the action that launches when you tap the rocket ship. So we can either play or pause using that, hold or resume a call, status lights, vanity lights, answer, end call. And so I think what we should do here is go ahead and make this a answer, end call. For the app button, this will select the platform that you want to access from your display. So we can either choose Zoom or now Microsoft Teams because this is a Microsoft Teams certified device. By selecting Teams, we now see down at the bottom that there is a Microsoft Teams button that will allow us to launch Microsoft Teams. We've got anti-flicker settings here, mute alert types, hold reminder, display brightness, display contrast, lights. So for our lights, we can decide what type of things are going to be turned on and lit up. Are we going to have lights for incoming calls, for a held call, for wireless charging? Then we've got ringtones and volume options. And finally, we can reset the device. There are clearly tons and tons of options, crazy amounts of customization that you can do with this display to make it truly an experience that you want it to be. Finally, we've got the support over here in case you need to access additional resources. All right, so in this recording, we are actually capturing the screen in the recording of the P21. And we are using the webcam of the P21 to capture me. And we're also using the microphones from the P21 to capture my audio. So what you're hearing right now and seeing right now is coming directly through the P21 recorded into Camtasia. My video, my audio through the P21 AV equipment. We've got the ambient lighting that is kicked in due to the fact that the camera is in use. So it should be illuminating my face, making it a more ideal lit up view of me rather than some darker image of me because it's getting dark outside and my lighting in this room is not great. So hopefully that is doing its job there. Before we go into a Microsoft Teams demo, I want to demo right down at the bottom. We've got the audio up, audio down. You can see the ambient lighting adjusting with that. We've got and unmute. We've got our rocket button that is going to be used to answer and hang up calls because that's what we configured it for in the PolyLens app. And now we have Teams. You can see right down in the bottom of the screen here, Teams is installed and signed in with my account. If I click the Teams button that we configured, then we launch the Microsoft Teams client just by clicking that button. So we've got kind of our own little personal Teams kiosk, but it's also a secondary monitor for our laptop that we have off to the left of the P21. All right, I've dropped the recording and the audio from the P21, so we are now just recording the screen of the P21, and that's so that I can launch a Meet Now in Teams and actually leverage the camera and mics and speakers from the P21 into Microsoft Teams. So you can see we've got our little pre-meeting window up here. We can see the P21 is the camera being used. If I go over here, you'll see that we've got P21 as the webcam. We've got the P21 for our mics and speakers up here. And as you can see on the side recording, our ambient lighting is on both sides. And so that is ensuring that even though I'm in a dark room with no lighting coming from above or in front of me, all I've got is that light behind me, which might make me even less lit on my face. The ambient lighting from the Poly P21 is making sure that my face can be seen on some level. So we've got that, and we'll go ahead and say join now. Now, once we join the meeting, we are not connecting anybody else to the meeting, but I want to call out that we have our video up on screen here, and we have green light down here because we are currently able to speak. Our mic is on. If I mute myself with that button, you see we're muted in the Teams app as well, and we're red down here so that we don't forget we're muted, right? If we unmute that, we're back to regular volume. We can adjust our volume up and down. And then, of course, we got the Teams app that we use to launch Teams. The rocket ship button, we configured that to be our answer hang up call button. Now, we didn't demo an incoming call, so we didn't click answer there. But I'm going to go ahead and click hang up on the rocket ship, or click the rocket ship, and that will hang up the call since we were already in a call. One final thing I want to show, we've turned off the light behind me. I've got the Poly Lens app up right now on the P21. We've got our ambient lighting off. Okay, so no ambient lighting is happening. We just have the light of the screen illuminating my face. I'm going to go ahead and slide that all the way up, and you can see that that does actually enhance. It makes my skin look a little more natural. It looks a little bit less like light from a monitor and a little bit more like natural skin tone with that ambient lighting. So a little bit of how that helps you get a more natural feel to the video in your calls. There you go. That is the Poly P21, newly certified for Microsoft Teams, also certified for Zoom. And I hope this video was incredibly helpful to you in figuring out how to tune and optimize this device to enhance your work environment and make better collaboration experiences for you into the future. If you did find it helpful, as always, share it all over social media. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are not already. There is a really handy link in the bottom corner of the video. Subscribe and then turn on notifications so that you don't miss out every time I create new videos just like this one. Thanks for watching, and I hope we'll see you back here for the next product overview video.